before that recording ended, Chioma's best friend said something so cold. It changed everything. The hospital room was quiet. Chioma lay weak on the bed, her body still recovering from surgery. Her mother sat beside her, gently holding her hand. For a moment, nobody spoke. Then suddenly, Chioma remembered something. Her eyes widened. She turned toward her mother and whispered, "Mommy, my phone." Her mother immediately stood up. "Your phone? Why?" Chioma swallowed painfully. "Before I fainted, I recorded everything." Confused, her mother unlocked the phone and began searching through the files. Then she found it. One recording. 3 minutes and 21 seconds. Recorded the night Chioma almost lost her life. Her thumb hovered over the play button. Then she pressed it. At first, all they heard was breathing. Weak, scared, shaking. Then Chioma's voice came through the speaker. "If anything happens to me..." It was Sandra. "She brought me here. She said she knew the doctor. She said other girls had done it before." The room became silent. Then another voice entered the recording. A man's voice, the fake doctor. "Relax," he said. "I've done this many times." Dr. Tunde looked up immediately. Chioma's mother froze. Then Sandra's voice entered. And what she said made everybody stop breathing. "Just make sure she doesn't talk after." Dr. Tunde covered his mouth in disbelief. Chioma slowly turned her face toward the wall and began crying. Not because of the pain, not because of the surgery, but because the person she trusted most had betrayed her. "She was my sister," Chioma whispered. "I trusted her with everything." But the recording wasn't finished. It got worse, much worse. Sandra laughed softly, then asked a question. "So how much am I getting this time?" The fake doctor laughed. "Same as the last ones." Silence. The room felt colder. Chioma's mother stared at the phone. "The last ones," she whispered. And that was the moment everybody understood. Chioma was never a patient. She was a transaction. And she wasn't the first. Dr. Tunde immediately took the phone from Chioma's mother. His expression changed completely. "This is no longer gossip," he said. "This is evidence. And evidence sends people to prison." Without wasting another second, he called the police himself. At that exact moment, Sandra had no idea her life was about to change forever. Across Lagos, she was throwing clothes into a suitcase. A flight was booked. Her bags were packed. She kept refreshing Instagram, hoping nobody knew, praying her name wasn't trending. Then her phone rang. Unknown number. Sandra answered. "Hello?" The voice on the other end was calm. "Your voice is all over the internet." A pause. And the police just heard it. Sandra's phone slipped from her hand and crashed onto the floor. For the first time in her life, she couldn't talk her way out of trouble. By sunrise, the recording had spread everywhere. WhatsApp, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, news pages, group chats, everywhere. People recognized Sandra's voice. People recognized the clinic. And then something happened she never expected. The girls started coming forward. One walked into a police station. Then another. Then another. One girl said, "Sandra brought me too." Another said, "She promised it was safe." A third said, "I spent every naira I had because of her." Suddenly, Sandra wasn't connected to one victim. She was connected to many. Later that afternoon, a young journalist arrived at Chioma's hospital room. She carried a press badge around her neck, but her eyes looked different. Personal, painful. She sat beside Chioma and took a deep breath. "I've been investigating that clinic for 6 months," she said, "long before your story became popular." Then her voice cracked. "My younger sister was one of the girls who went there." The room became silent. The journalist continued. 12 girls walked into that clinic." She paused. Only 4 walked back out. Chioma's mother covered her mouth. "4?" she whispered. The journalist nodded. "Only 4. That night. Police tracks tagged the fake doctor's last phone signal to an abandoned building outside Lagos. They surrounded it. Flashlights cut through the darkness. The lead officer gave the signal. The door was forced open, and immediately something felt wrong. Inside were hundreds of files, names, photographs, dates, records. Some of the faces matched missing person reports. Then officers discovered a locked room. They broke it open. Inside were machines, medical equipment, lights. Everything was still on. One surgical lamp was still warm. Someone had been there moments earlier. The lead officer grabbed his radio. "He's close," he said. "Lock the area down." 3 blocks away, a man in a hoodie walked quickly down an empty street. The fake doctor. He thought he was free. Then he heard footsteps. He walked faster. The footsteps followed. He turned around, nothing. He exhaled, turned forward, and froze. 3 police officers stood directly in front of him. He dropped his bag and ran, but this time, he didn't get far. The next morning, headlines exploded across the country. Fake doctor arrested. Victims found across 3 states. Illegal clinic exposed. Back at the hospital, Chioma's phone rang. Unknown number. She almost ignored it. Then she answered. "Hello?" A woman's voice replied. "Is this Chioma?" "Yes. My name is Adaeze." A long pause followed. "I went to that same clinic 3 years ago." Another pause. "I never told anybody. Not my family. Not my friends. Not even myself." The woman's voice started shaking. "Until I saw your story." Tears filled Chioma's eyes. Then Adaeze said something she would never forget. "You made me feel like I wasn't dirty for surviving." Chioma broke down crying, and through her tears, she replied, "You're not alone. None of us are anymore." For the first time since everything happened, she felt hope. But that feeling didn't last long. Because later that evening, Dr. Tunde walked into the hospital room, carrying a plain brown envelope. His face looked different, serious, concerned. "Chioma," he said quietly. "This was delivered downstairs. There was no name on it, no return address. Just this." He handed her the envelope. Chioma opened it carefully. Inside was a single photograph. She looked at it, and all the color drained from her face. The person smiling in the picture was sitting beside her hospital bed, holding her hand. At that exact moment, slowly, Chioma turned the photograph over. 4 words were written in red ink. "You next. Stay quiet." A chill ran through her body. Slowly, very slowly, She lifted her head and looked at the person sitting beside her, and they were still smiling.